What's going on, guys? Gonna do a quick trading recap for today, kind of walk you guys through my trades and show you guys what I seen, what I executed on, and yeah, hopefully someone will learn something from it. So WBEV, this is my first trade on the day. Nice 5-minute flag setup. You see high volume push through our pre-market high areas, and then we get this nice pullback into 46 area pivot. Nice low VPA, exactly what you want to see in a flag. And on this one, I get long right over here, 48 cents. Get a nice pop into 50s. And then I take my first piece off 496s. Ultimately, I was looking for the flag off this 44 pivot. And so when we started flushing into 44s, I actually started smacking more. 43.6, 43.8. And then when we kept on flushing, I actually took the loss right over here at 41 cents. So, I was looking for that quick dip into 44 and rip. Ultimately, it didn't happen, and I had to take the loss on this one. Really nice setup though, once again, nice high volume push through our pre-market resistance areas. And then we have this nice 5-minute flag setup. Good trade on my end. Followed my edge. Ultimately, I think I shouldn't have been adding more over here, but it is what it is. Sometimes we break rules. Another trade I had on the day was CPHI. CPHI was a really nice 3-minute flag setup off of a daily pivot. You could see nice high volume push. Really low VPA pullback into our 19 area pivot. And on this one, I get long right over here on the 3-minute break over this daily 20 area pivot. I get filled 21 cents, get a nice push into high day, take my first piece off right over here at 22.4. And I always preach to you guys that you guys should be taking your first piece off in front of high day. And this is exactly why. You see how we just started flushing? So that's why I always take a piece off in front of high day. We ultimately end up pulling back into this 19 area pivot to get the test. And this is where I started adding some more. So I added some more into 19s, got my average from 21s to 20s, I believe it was 0.23s. And we get a nice little bounce up here, forming higher lows throughout. Get a nice push to our upper trend line. And when we get this push into our upper trend line, we have this kind of parabolic rise. You guys can see the volume over here. Nice, really high volume push, nice stair step, and then bam, right through the upper trend line. And I start peeling some off into this candle, get some off at 23, get some more off 23.8, get some more off into the ask at 24. And then we start consolidating here, and we actually form this 10-minute flag. You can see a nice high volume push, low VPA pullback into the pivot. And this one I was like, all right, cool. Not going to add any more up here. I am going to see if we can get that extension. And ultimately, I was looking for 26s. You can see this pivot over here. And then I was looking for that extension into 28s, which would have been this pivot over here. Ultimately, we didn't get it, but it's okay. We got another push into 24s. Take some more off into 23.5s. And, we get a nice stuff candle. We start consolidating, still holding our 21 area pivot. And I was like, okay, let's see, if we can trap some shorts and try to push higher. Ultimately, we don't trap any shorts. We break our 21 pivot, and this is where I cut my remaining piece. Reason why I cut my remaining piece over here is very clear. You guys can see we have this, nice resistance over here. We break over it, access support on many candles, and we break it over here. So right there, I'm like, okay, this support is broken. It's probably going to turn into resistance, and the price of the stock is probably going to decline. So I'm going to cut my remaining piece right over here. I think I played this one really well. I executed well, followed my risk well, took profits nicely. So overall, I think I did a good job on this one. Next trade on the day would have been COMS. COMS, nice flag. Got a really nice move out of it. You could see we finally broke over this 12-cent resistance, and we put in this nice 5-minute flag. At the time, this candlestick had lower VPA. It wasn't a crazy bullish engulfing at the time, so the flag setup was valid. Nice low VPA pullback into our 12 area pivot. I get long right over here at 0.123. We get a nice inflow of buyers, push up into 13s, take my first piece off at 12.8, start pulling back into here like 12.4s, start forming this lower trend line. And when we get this push right here, I take more off at 12.5 just to mitigate some risk. I thought maybe we'll pull up to this 13 area and get rejected again. We ultimately blast through this 13 area, take some more off 13.2, take some more off 13.5. And that's when we start, just making the grind slowly. We pull back into this 13 area pivot, Wasn't really worried about these wicks because they did stop on VWAP and they were sucked up right away. Also, I had a nice average 12 threes. Did scale some off, so I wasn't really worried. I was willing to, let it go to break even. Wasn't letting it, wasn't willing to let it go red, but I was, willing to give it some wiggle room. And ultimately, we get a nice breakthrough 14s. Didn't get to take any off up here, and that's because I was in the gym. And when we come back down here and break this 14 area pivot, I actually take my last piece off at 14 cents exactly. Overall, great trade. Nice gain on it. I think we executed well. The next one on the day would have been SHPH. Didn't really trade this one today, but I did have my lotto from Friday that I mentioned in my previous recap from $2.40. Got a nice pop into the open through our downtrend line. We pushed up, we couldn't hold, but we did form this lower trend line. And when we broke through threes and kind of had this parabolic rise into 311s, we start coming back down. And I sell my remaining piece off at $3.04. Nice 27% gain right over here. Really good trade. It was a lotto. This thing could have went, either way. Could have gapped down, could have gapped up. In our case, it worked out and trapped some shorts from Friday and ended up squeezing into the open. Really nice trade there. With that being said, these are all my trades on the day. I am going to post the gains in the thumbnail for YouTube, so look out for that. But with that being said, I hope someone learned something from this, and we will catch you guys for tomorrow's recap. Peace.